Hello and welcome to today's counting. Hello and welcome to today's live coverage of 365's counting. We are the results of almost 5,000 candidates were in ballot boxes for the past 2 days, and today many results are already out. There have been some big winners, there have been some big losers, but this is expected. There have been some surprises, and I'm sure by the end of the day there will be even more surprises. So before we get into the nitty-gritty, the actual meat of this, as some would say, I would like to introduce our panel. Starting with Advocate Avinash Bhonsle of the NCP. Avinash Bab, welcome.
Good morning.
Advocate Siddharth Samant. Siddharth Bab, welcome. Our cephalogist Viraj Naik. Viraj Bab, welcome. And architect Tulio D'Souza of the Congress. Welcome, guys. They have been on our live coverage of the voting also. So before I get into the actual results, which I'll tell you as the time goes by, and I think Viraj will be able to give us more on that. There have been some surprises, no doubt, but there have been also some, what you say, as expected. Starting with Mauvin-backed candidates have, I think, almost all come. The big surprise was the Anjuna Sarpanch, Savio has lost. He has been beaten by Chimulkar. Then in Santandre has been a little bit of a surprise because RG has not done too well, surprisingly. I don't know what is the scene. But that's what the initial reports are saying, especially in Mandur and all. So I would like to start off with Avinash Bab. What you feel would be the results of these Panchayat polls, and how relevant would they be? I know I'm starting off from the end, but just to start off the discussion.
The result is very much expected because the turnout which has been shown, the response of the people overall, it is not what was the earlier elections, because these elections are happening after just concluded assembly elections. So the involvement of political parties effectively into it, because political parties because are there into the race, but they are not seen, very much visibility of political party is not seen here during these elections. So that has culminated into a very lukewarm response from the turnout. See, on an average, the turnout here is hardly around, which was expected, otherwise it would have touched 90%. But it has come below that, almost.
80%, not too bad.
Not bad. But overall for a local government bodies, Panchayat election results turnout nearly touches 90.
No, we were expecting this.
Somewhere. So I find there would be many more surprises coming, because the established people who are into the panchayats for a long standing, for 20 years, there have been sarpanches for 20-25 years and all. There will be surprises, and people would definitely vote for a new faces, and there is definitely going to change, and there will be a focus on youth. The old people which were there, the senior people would definitely get lot of surprises, and the new faces will be there. This is the expectation of people, because as I was also moving out, and we have really went into the last couple of days, you have been showcasing the Panchayat elections at the grassroots level itself. So overall, what I feel, these elections, it is not the big surprises that will come, but ultimately it will end up with the ruling dispensation, and all will be photographing with the government, with the chief minister. So I will not be surprised. However, affiliations or their alliance, or their maybe with the different political parties, and what was expected, basically local parties like RG, there was high expectation for RG to improve. Yeah. And there was a lone assembly segment, that is Santandre. But besides Santandre, RG definitely picked up, being a new party, a sizable percentage of votes, more than even a nationalist party could do it. So I was having a high expectation, at least at Panchayat level, the party which masters Panchayat would definitely be in a comfortable zone for the next assembly elections. So I feel RG has missed the bus. They have to do a lot of hard work and get connected themselves at the grassroots level. So these elections are going to be lessons for not only national party like Congress and NCP. In the comfortable zone, it will be BJP because they are ruling dispensation. So there are no X to grind about BJP. But Congress had an opportunity, AAP has an opportunity, but that lukewarm response by the political parties that they did not give because they came out from the slumbers. They were either in the cushy cushion, the pangs of the assembly elections they were still going through, and they did not take this assembly election seriously. Even the person who have lost the elections in assembly, or even the person MLA who have won the election, there are only notable, sizable, only few Panchayat level ministers like Michael Lobo, Vishwajit, or Marvin Gudinos. They have been into the field very actively, but overall I don't find that sort of a response from established people in the politics.
Yeah, Avinash Babu, you don't know how true, at least till date, whatever is coming true. Before I go to you, Chavan Babu, I would like to just bring in a few details. Like say in Pays de France, Rouen County panel clean sweeps by 9 with 9 out of 11 members. In Bogmalo, it is Movin group. Now in Anjuna, in Kelosi, in Anjuna, the sitting like the the strongman of Anjuna, Savio, has lost to this Lakshmi Das Chimulkar, and but the one thing which is to an extent surprised us is the Velsa results. Goincho Ekot has got 5 candidates out of the 7. That is Olencho. We spoke to Olencho the other day. And in the Rokuzin panel, he's supposed to be a social actor, he gets 2 in Velsa. Now that is thing. But I agree with I'll just pass on these results. Please pass them. Keep one talking.
So I'll give some more
the
updates.
Yeah. So what has been surprising is that the BJP and its MLAs, have been pushing in their particular constituencies for the Panchayat. But if we have not seen that type of response from, as you said, the Congress, NCP, and even from AAP. I don't know. I think maybe you can talk on NCP and Tulio Babu can talk about the Congress. But that's what we are seeing. So, Chavan Babu, what do you feel? I know it's not on party lines. Let's not start that argument.
I will not take a theoretical argument, but you will have to consider one thing, that RG's politics have been newsroom kind of politics. They are hardly working on the ground. See, taking some issues which are related to your state and holding press conferences or holding some mega events. This is not the way of going about in politics. You will hardly see. See, you may agree with a particular party's ideology or not, but on the ground their work is hardly anything. See, in Lok Sabha elections, you have a different kind of politics. You don't require somebody who goes to each door and knocks. For assembly elections, you have a different kind of going about as far as elections are concerned. But as far as Panchayat is concerned, you require a dedicated people, candidates who actually will stand, who understands the problem, who is there to solve your problem, who stands by you. Now that kind of politics is not seen by, at least I don't see as far as RG is concerned. They might be raising relevant issues, important issues concerning our state, but that's in a totally different scenario. That kind of politics will not work as far as the Panchayat elections are concerned. Now,
actually, it should have, no?
I'll just add to his point since he's discussing on RG. So, Asosim Mandur Panchayat, initially there were 3 candidates backed by RG who won. And in a surprising turn of events, there is another candidate, Prashant, who has now joined RG camp. He is being photographed with Viresh Borkar. So, they have now 4 out of 7.
Where?
So, first, Azosim Mandur.
Azosim Mandur, okay.
So first elections post assembly, and then they have one candidate just after the election joining them.
Which is, I don't know, maybe it's relevant, maybe it's not, I don't know. Well, what do you think, Viraj?
I mean, this is something is expected with other parties, but RG, I was a little surprised because I thought they would back their volunteers. Even those who lost, they would back them and not take the others in. But anyways, that has happened. He is now claiming majority in Azosim Mandur. They got 3 candidates, so that's also a good achievement for them, I would say, because assembly elections were won with a very slender margin. So that shows that he has some hold.
No, but that's what I'm saying now. See, what RG stood for is like something else. I don't know. I think we should bring in Congress on that because they really got into the Congress in the last. But if this has started right now, I don't know. Tulio, yeah,
See, let's
I'm
not
surprised. Let me say I'm surprised.
let's
I
not
agree
get
with
into
Viraj.
a reactionary mode of
So soon.
analyzing the entire Panchayat politics, the results that are pouring in today, and generally what the Panchayat politics is all about. I think the opening remarks by my co-panelist Avinash Bap has more or less set the tone, but it is like this, you see. There are the good points and the bad points about the politicians really getting involved in this Panchayat politics. Let's again not going back into that story of Panchayat politics being partyless.
Yeah, please.
I myself am trying to tell you that
Yeah.
let's not get into it.
We are watching
but
the live visuals from the Margaon Counting Center, from the Salsette Counting Center. Just for
yeah, but let's not get into that situation of the political parties, how deeply they penetrated the electoral scenario in the Panchayat elections or not.
Can we just listen, Tulio, sorry to interrupt. Can we just listen to the audio of this winning candidate?
ती तू करतलो पूण हे क्रेडीट कोणाक दिता सगळें क्रेडीट हांव पयले सुवातेर देवा कारका दिता आनी गोंयच्या सगळ्या सपोर्टरांक तांकां लागून आयज हांव आयलां तेमी म्हाका निवडून हाडला वेली पंचायत वॉर्ड नंबर 2 नांव कितें नांव संतोष क्रूज फेर्नांडीस सगळ्या म्हज्या वॉर्डा मेंबरांक काळजांतल्यान देव बरें करूं बेस्ट ऑफ लक
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Tulio.
So let me begin first by congratulating all the candidates who have won the election so far, and I really wish them well in their effort to take this grassroots Panchayat level institutions to the people, and that's what Panchayats are all about. We go back to what is the relationship between the political parties, the candidates that have won or have lost, and what is the real mingling of the political parties, the MLAs and the candidates who probably had contested the last election into the nitty-gritty of the Panchayat politics. Now you must understand one thing, Glenn, that Panchayat level politics ultimately due to the lack of the Panchayat level politics, due to the lack of financial independence in these bodies, is intricately linked to the government of the day, and government of the day works through the MLA of the respective area. So you will always find the elected bodies, the elected members gravitating towards the ruling side, and then to the MLA who is been representing that particular area. That's very simple, logical, to try and get hold of government schemes, government funds, and in turn try and help their people. Because ultimately if they do not respond to the wishes of the people, to the demands of the people whom they represent, and in general to the politics of the place that is happening at the moment, then they would be out of sync in terms of in their agenda that they have been elected for. So now let's understand, many panchayats you will see old candidates losing. Old candidates who have been there for a long time have lost. You've seen in the last election many heavyweight candidates had lost in Kalangut, in Kandoli, or this time it is Anjuna. These are the areas which are more familiar to me. And in many other panchayats, I'm sure that the long-standing candidates lost because people also felt that they vote for a change. Now in Anjuna, being represented by a Congress MLA at the moment, and being represented by a Congress MLA for the first time, they have probably voted for a change. And we find that people in Anjuna, that's part of Sioli constituency, had always been part of a political formation where Sioli has been one of the election or electoral constituencies which has not seen much development. Sioli being a developing part of the coastal belt, you see Anjuna, you see then it goes towards the real Sioli village per se, and in turn moving towards north, and it requires a lot of attention. It's not only requires attention in terms of its infrastructure development, the people of the locality have not been getting the due in terms of the job aspirations, whether it's the local infrastructure of the markets or other infrastructure is very, very poor. So I'm sure the people have borne that in mind when they voted, because you had given this as an example that Savio lost. So probably, you know, it is just the politics, and change being the only constant, one has to look at it in this direction. So Sioli, Saligaon are currently being represented by Congress MLAs and Kalangut as well. So definitely you will see the local MLAs definitely have playing a part and playing a role in trying to see that their supporters, partyless this election is, but their supporters definitely may be ahead of the race compared to the other candidates, notwithstanding the other formations. Now we had spoken about the RG. Now RG is a situation where they have not...
I like the way you call RG a situation.
No, it is a situation because they have never come with a ideological mooring that requires a political party.
Pogo bill.
Pogo bill cannot be an ideological mooring. Pogo bill at best can be a reaction to a current situation where certain people feel emotionally deprived of the feeling of being good. Why? Why should a political party be born out of only a sentiment? I can understand that India and Goa later had a freedom movement, had a liberation movement towards the basic sentiment of getting liberated, India getting independent from the foreign colonization. But you cannot have a situation of a political party just trying, which party would not espouse the cause of a Goan sentiment, notwithstanding the issues that have come up in the long run due to various other situations that have prevailed from time to time. Can you run a political party just based on a Pogo bill? I don't think so. And if the assembly, in the very first assembly, when the Honorable Speaker has declined to even accept that bill in the assembly, as one understands, now, where does that leave the political party if that is the basis of their existence? Ultimately, only one sentiment doesn't carry the day for the people of the constituency or the people of the state. People are still concerned about their basic infrastructure, water, power, roads. They are still concerned about the unemployment crisis that has engulfed Goa. The Parliament, the state legislature and the local bodies, the municipalities and the panchayats are all together need to work hand in hand to see how these issues can be best solved. I know that government jobs cannot be given to everybody, but yet what does the government do to promote private investment that is employment oriented, that caters to the unemployed youth of this state? I don't see any programs. I have said in this program earlier that because unemployment is by far the biggest crisis that any place could have. It could lead to so many other collateral and other problems that will surround us, social unrest and all the other types of difficulties that come with it. And one doesn't see any concerted move by the government to see that employment crisis is solved.
Okay, fair enough. Before that, what I was saying is that can you give us an update of some of the winners, Viraj?
Yeah, so we have some panchayats which are going either with the elected representatives or those who have lost. So I'll just summarize them for you. So Bogmalo, as you know, has gone with Mavin Gudino. So he's claiming that 5 out of 7 are from his panel. Asosim Mandur has gone with Viresh Borkar, RG. He's claiming 4 out of 7. Pena de Franca has gone with Rohan Kaunte. 9 out of 11 are from his panel. Bhati has gone with the BJP, so 4 out of 7 has been the BJP's count. Paroda and Ambaulim Panchayats, Clifasio Dias, the losing candidate in Kunkolim last time around, has claimed victory. Velsau has gone with Olencio, as was discussed. Dar Bandoda is the latest update. All 5 have gone to the MGP. As far as the prominent winners and losers are concerned, Viola Pacheco, wife of ex-former minister Miki Pacheco, has won from Bethel Patim. Then there is Frank Viegas, who is a Goa Forward State Executive Member. He has won from Ward number 7, Chinchini. There was an interesting incident that happened in Salvador de Mundo. There was a tie in Ward number in one of the wards. So Jagannath and Deepraj Naik were tied, but after a recount, Jagannath Naik has won by 2 votes. So Pena de Franca is 9 out of 7 have gone with Rohan Kaunte. Ward 1 is Shantaram Naik. Ward 2 is Ganesham Ravi Naik. Ward 3 is Francis D'Souza. Ward 4 is Matilda Vaz. Ward 5 is Narayan Naik. Ward 6 is Swapnil Chodankar. Ward 7 is Dipali Vernekar. Ward 8 was unopposed Siddesh Naik. Ward 9 is Pushparaj Shirodkar. Ward 10 is Vishranti Naik. And Ward 11 is Safar Dias.
Okay, some Mercury also. I'll just give you the winners. One Umesh Shetty, Sanjana Naik, Vishwambar Naik, Gurudas Parab, and Kumudini Naik. Mercury is next near TV.
Main part of Visholi Constituency.
Yeah.
It is towards the east of TV.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Now that's okay. Now Avinash Bab, tell me one thing now. I don't know, but what Tulio was saying is that many of these MLAs have changed in some of the constituencies like Sioli and all. Possibly with that, could you all see some changes? You feel? See, I have the figures of, I have the winners of Anjuna.
By and large, the performance and the personal charisma of
You think?
yes, these are the mantra for winning panchayat election. It's your performance, personal charisma. Now it may so happen that if your MLA or a minister is performing, then you will see that developments in your village, and accordingly the person who is nominated by your say MLA or candidates whose allegiance to that particular minister will get that benefit. But ultimately what we are talking about is the performance, the deliverer. Once you have that, I think these are two sufficient things, performance and personal charisma. If you have that right kind of connect, personal connect, because we are talking about 500 and 600 votes, not like assembly or MP where you cater to around 3.5 lakhs votes or 2.5 lakh votes, where it is impossible for you to know all your voters personally. But in this, all your voters you know by their first name. You know their problem, you know what their what situation is, financial situation is. So if you are particularly connected to all these your voters, then that adds to your winnability. So I think performance and your personal connect, these are the two things. Of course, there might be other factors also, like performing MLA or a performing minister, that may add to your this. But ultimately these are the two things which
Okay,
are
our reporter from Salseth is there outside the counting center. Could we get Ramesh on screen, please? So while we wait for Ramesh, let me just update you on the winners in my end. Ward number 1 is Seema Arondekar. Ward number 2 Vidyanand Karbotkar. Ward number 3 Sufala Chopdekar. Ward number 4 Kanivi Kautankar. Ward number 5 Vasudev Gaonkar. Ward number 6 Dilip Sheth. Ward number 7 Vishant Pednekar. Ward number 8 Krishna Chodankar. Ward number 9 Vinita Pole. Ward number 10 Varsha Gadekar. And ward number 11 Suvarna Chodankar. By the way, ward number 11 Suvarna has been elected unopposed. Also Guleli, I would like to Guleli Panchayat, I would just like to update her. Ward number 1 winner is Akshita Gowde. Ward number 2 Jyoti Gaonkar. Ward number 3 Sidhu Vaman Gaonkar. Ward number 4 Santoshi Naik. Ward number 5 Nitish Gowde. Ward number 6 Ratnakar Khaskar. Ward number 7 Prehanti Melekar. Let me repeat. Guleli Panchayat. Ward number 1 Akshita Gowde. Ward number 2 Jyoti Gaonkar. Ward number 3 Sidhu Gaonkar. Ward number 4 Santoshi Naik. Ward number 5 Nitish Gowde. Ward number 6 Ratnakar Khaskar. Ward number 7 Prehanti Melekar. Now I'll go to the other results as they come in, but Avinash Bab, in a way I agree and I disagree with what Sawant Bab and you were talking about, but I still feel that yes, probably let's not take the Panchayat, probably not having these elections, and even probably Zilla with the stamp of the probably is the right thing, no doubt. There's always an argument for that. But political parties have to take a sort of a lesson from the book of the BJP, I think, because the BJP MLAs have been really pushing. They've been giving press conferences. They've been saying back this one, back that one. Is it because the other parties have not been doing it because they're scared that they will be targeted by the thing or they'll be poached? What do you feel?
I think it's a very relevant issue, because if you are a political party, you have to admit that you are a political party. You are not a social club or a Rotary Club or Lions Club or some sports club. A political party has to act politically, and what the politics mandates is the elections. You have to go through elections, every elections. Now, as far as Panchayat election is concerned, because it has not been under political mandate, but however, there has been definite.
Yeah, okay, that's what. Sorry, Avinash Bab, let me interrupt. Yeah, is Ramesh still there? I was asking whether we could get him online. Is he there? Can we talk to him? Avinash Bab, yes, give me. Yeah, Ramesh. Yeah, sang. Situation किती आहे?
Glenn, आज जे काउंटिंग 8 स्टार्ट झालेले ते तुका जायशे कॅन्डिडेट जे आसात हे आज निवडून येयल्ले कडेन आसात आनीक सांगपाची एक गजाल म्हणल्यार जे न्यू पॅनल हे जे आसा न्यू कॅन्डिडेट हे जे आसात हे आज आमचे म्हणजे निवडून येयले कडेन आसात कित्याक एक वटेन तुमी फॉर एग्जाम्पल तुमी सगळे चडांत चड न्यू कॅन्डिडेट हे आसात हे यंग भुरगे आनी ते कॅन्डिडेट ह्या हितूंक निवडून येयल्ले बरी गजाल की हितूंक कळटा जे आमची गोंयची लोक आसात ते आमी डिफरन्सीस करनात हे आज दाखोवन दिले कडेन आसा त्याच बरोबर जाज्यो पंचायती आसा हितूंक हे येयले कडेन आसा आनी सांगपाचें म्हणलें जाल्यार जी पारोर्डा पंचायत आसा ही पोरती खंय तरी एक्स MLA जो आसा हेणे आपल्या हातीन घेतले कडेन आसा सद्याक हे पॅनल आसा ते खंयच्या पार्टीची ना म्हणून तेणी सांगले कडेन आसा आमी फक्त इंडिपेंडंट आता कोण सपोर्ट करतलो कोणा करतलो तो पळोवचें पडटलो पण एक्स MLA जो आसा हेगे हे पॅनल म्हणल्यार 90% तेगे पॅनल म्हणपाक आमकां हरकत ना कित्याक ऑलरेडी भितरल्यान तेणे आमकां सांगले कडेन आसा की आमकां तेजे बरोबर आसले म्हणून आज सकाळच्यान जायती कितलीशी हे जाले कडेन आसा तितूंक जायते सरपंच जे आसात हे सरपंच पडले कडेन आसात आनीक तशेंच आतां तुमी आमच्या फाटल्यान तुमी पळयता पळय सगळे लोक जे आसात हे लोक हांगा आसात आनीक ह्या लोकांक भितर सोडना म्हूण खंय तरी हे जे लोक आसात ते सपोर्टर लोक आयिल्ले तांकां खंय तरी मात दुखोवले कडेन आसात कित्याक म्हळ्यार तांकां भितर वचपाक मेळना म्हणून जर भितर वचपाक मेळ्ळे एक वटेन थंय त्रासूय जाता आसले आनी दुसरे वटेन हेंची उमेद जी आसा ही उमेद हांगाच उरलेल्या सारकी जाले कडेन आसा
रमेश, what about वार्का रिजल्ट्स येयला
वार्का बी जी पंचायत आसा ती
रमेश
जायत्यो आंबेली पंचायत आसा वसळणा पंचायत आसा ती सुद्दां त्या निवडून येयल्ली कडेन आसा
वार्का अजून जावंक ना
पूण एक्च्युअली सांगपाचें म्हळ्यार पयशांचो वापर जावप पंचायत इलेक्शनाक ही वायट गोष्ट कित्याक हांगच्यान जर पयशांचो जर फोट जर पंचायती
लिटल बिट ऑफ वी हॅविंग सम कनेक्टिविटी इश्यूज ओके रमेश थँक यू यार कनेक्टिविटी मातशी आयकोंक येना कितें उलयता तो विराज कॅन यू अपडेट अस ऑन सम ऑफ द न्यू दिस
Yeah, there are some results coming in from the northern side of Goa. So we have Latam Barse. So Ward 1 is Krishna Arolkar. He was elected unopposed. Ward 2 is Naresh Gavas. Ward 3 is Padmakar Malik. Ward 4 is Pooja Gadi. Ward 5 Harshada Parwar. Ward 6 Neelam Karapurkar. Ward 7 Dilip Warak. Ward 8 is Rama Gaonkar. We also have results coming in from Dhargal. So Dhargal Ward 1 is Diptisha Naroji. Ward 2 is Preeti Kanolkar. Ward 3 is Arjun Kanolkar. Ward 4 is Aniket Salgaonkar. Ward 5 is Satish Dhumal. Ward 6 is Daji Shirodkar. Ward 7 Amita Harmalkar. Ward 8 Dilip Veer. Ward 9 is Pradeep Naik.
Okay.
We also have Chimbal Panchayat results. So Ward 1 is Mohammad Nizar. Ward 2 is Shankar Naik. Ward 3 is Shabana Badrapur. Ward 4 is Madhula Mada. Ward 5 is Drishti Kavlekar. Ward 6 is Sandesh Shirodkar. Ward 7 is Manisha Chopdekar. Ward 8 is Ravindra Chopdekar. Ward 9 is Sandesh Chopdekar. I don't know if all of them are related. Ward 10 is Krupa Kanolkar. Ward 11 is Rosie Utkuri. Then we have interesting news coming in from Kurka Panchayat. So there has been a tie between Anant Verlekar and Maria Dikunya. So this is the second tie reported today. The first one was resolved in a recount. Let's see what happens here.
Some new results are coming in. I think Viraj, we have some news about Arpora, Nagwa. Tulio will probably be happy.
Yeah,
I don't
so
know, but you tell us.
so we have news coming in from Arpora. Michael Pennell has a clean sweep in Arpora Nagwa Panchayat. So he is claiming 6 out of 7 to have won by his panel. 6 out of 7 in Arpora Nagwa for Michael Lobo.
Any news about Saligaon, Tulio?
No, if you see the counting serial number of the chronology, Saligaon and Sangolda at 7 and 8 in the block 4 of the counting.
That will be after lunch.
So that should probably come because Kalangut Kandoli has not yet happened.
No, Kalagut not yet started.
So that's after Saligaon. After that is only Saligaon and Sangolda. So that is practically the part of our thing. And
Even Parras not yet come. Parras
Yeah.
before Kalagut, I think.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But I think you should, since Panel de France has been already out, the next one which I expect, which should be of interest to us, is Nerul Panchayat.
Nerul.
And
I
anytime
don't think
we
they
should
started
have.
counting in Nerul.
No, you should have the
They should
results
have.
because
Nerul
Panel de
is
France
very
has been out for quite some
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
No, there is Salvador the Mundo which is out.
And Panel de
then-
France.
Yeah,
And next is
yeah.
Nerul. Now these are out for quite some time. No? So everywhere now, if you see at the second block, we are having at serial number 6 Arpora Nagwa. So you have Anjuna, but probably Glenn, you could get your reporter to report on Asagaon and Verla Kanka, which have preceded Arpora. Asagaon and Verla Kanka. That would provide us some direction in what way, because that's all part of the Tsioli constituency.
I've just asked my reporter to check
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Nerul. Let's see.
No, I'm just going purely on the chronology and the
that is the
serial
correct,
number.
that is the final.
Yeah.
That's the
So,
final count.
and even the results that are emerging are more or less conforming to that
But
pattern.
Varka, he's saying Varka is not yet come also.
No, Varka, I'll tell you, Varka, as per this notification, Varka is, it's not all in serial number in alphabetical order, but Varka is at number 11 of block number 12, which is the last. So you will have before that Naveli coming in, Carmona coming in.
Tarauli.
Carmona, I think, is out. Some of the Carmona, Shishinia, out. That Valentino, our former Sarpanch, Valentino Barreto, I think he has won.
He has won.
Long time. And also in Paroda, this Sabita Vaz also has won.
Yeah.
Sarzora, sorry.
Sarzora, yeah.
Sarpanch.
Paroda is an old panchayat, if I understand, of
Yeah.
the former MLA Clefasio Dias.
Clafas. But
He was-
Sabita has been there for a long time.
She is from Sarzora, but that
Sarzora.
Sarzora is a part of Paroda Panchayat.
No, Paroda,
I don't-
some results have come.
No, Paroda, as Viraj Baba said, that Clefasio's panel seems to have won there.
Yeah.
He was a former Sarpanch of that
Also,
village.
He was, that's a stronghold. So
Yeah.
he was
Right.
also a ZP member before he became an MLA.
So he has climbed the ladder, the grassroots ladder over
And he
there.
maintains his hold in that particular
Yeah.
panchayat.
So-
Asolna also some results are out. Ward number 3 is Izaka Fernandez. Ward number 4, Pedrinha Cardoz. Ward number 5, Jack Ferreira.
Which one is this?
Asolna.
Asolna is a panchayat of the same
Yes,
Kongoli.
yes.
No, of Veli.
It is in Veli.
Asolna
Asolna
must be
comes
of
from Veli.
Veli constituency. That's right.
And ward number 6, Ivano Fernandez. Paroda, I have got only 2 results. Ward number 1 is Paulina Fernandez. Ward number 2 is Shailesh Jotkar. But Girdoli is again Rashol, few results. Rashol is Alesh's, I think. No? Ward number 2 is.
that's. But you see, as I can see that the long-standing panchayat member of the panchayat movement, Joseph Vaz,
Joseph was.
has I think won over there. At
Joseph Vaz has won from ward number 3.
Yeah.
Ward number 3.
He is one of the long
Yeah,
stalwarts
Sarpanch.
of the Panchayat Raj movement. You see,
Yes.
he is.
He's from Ile de Rashol. No?
Yeah, so I can see his name at ward
Ward
number 3.
Ile de Rashol, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Former
right.
Sarpanch also.
Former
He was a-
Sarpanch.
He was a Sarpanch when I was posted in South Goa. That's almost 10, 11 years back. I
No,
think.
he has been a long-standing
More than 20-25 years.
movement
Yeah.
of the
This
Panchayat.
is what is called as consistency. It is these people who make mark in the politics.
I don't
For
know.
somebody who has that. That
No.
is what, when earlier you were discussing professionalism of BJP, the success mantra of BJP. It is this, they have been consistent, their professional party, they know what their role is, they know what they stand for. Then they have consistency and dedication. Then they strategize elections. After strategy, they are backed strongly by their ideology and ideological partner and structure. But you compare this vis-a-vis other party. Now, initially I began with pointing out at RG. Now, RG has none of this. Neither they have any structure. Nobody knows what kind of hierarchy they have. They have no policies. They have no strategy.
No, Samant, you brought very well. I was going to come to that since we are having a little time and we are waiting for results to
Correct.
pour in of some very interesting areas in Saligaon, Kalangut, Asioli and areas like that. But you see, you have a political party's main preamble being enunciating the ideological mooring of that political party.
Correct.
Okay, and then that should give rise to what we call the party policies, the party programs, and the party dictates how it moves ahead vis-a-vis. And Avinash Babu has correctly said the political party is not a charitable trust, neither it is a social service organization, nor it is a sports club. It is something that needs to basically take part in this democratic exercise. And what is more important in democratic exercise is probably the elections, what we call the dance of democracy. You see, that's where the political parties, whether they play a role in the foreground or the background, they need to enunciate and they need to dictate a policy for their workers. Otherwise, how do they take care of the workers? Because it's the workers that are the grassroots level supporters of the political party. Now, going a little ahead of that, what I said, we need to also understand that whoever has won, it's my honest appeal to all the candidates who have won and all those who stand by the Panchayati Raj movement, that please go ahead, perform your tasks, perform your duties assigned to you, perform your role as the electorate expects you to do, and come out as real torch bearers of these local self-government institutions. Please go to the government and don't be like rubber stamps of the government of the day. You have to go with the Panchayati Raj Act of the 73rd Amendment and tell the government what are the powers, financial and administrative, that need to devolve to the bodies if they are to exercise a meaningful role. Now, I won't go again, like Glenn, you must be remembering just a few days ago, we went into the whole gamut of powers that are not being given to the local self bodies. But what I'm saying is, first you look at the welfare schemes. Why will all the welfare schemes, right from the senior citizens to the housewives or to the Ladli Lakshmi or whatever, be disseminated through the village panchayats? Empower them, make them accountable. Same thing, why will not basic sports facilities, pre-primary and primary education, why will not all the other, like we said, maybe the whole electrical supply is a too big an agenda, too big a portfolio to hand over to the panchayat, but at least the main
streetlights can be done.
Absolutely, I was coming to
Begin
that.
with small things, then we can go when they get some kind of experience.
No.
But to begin with small things, at least can be
But
given.
the thing is
Street light-
experience. See, most of the linesmen are in the panchayat itself.
Correct.
Means in the panchayat, they are the side.
I'll take from what the government has announced. The other day, the town and country planning minister announced that they are going to have development plans or zoning plans for all the villages. Let each panchayat, their village development committee, engage in this task.
This village development committee is a full-fledged discussion on its own, not here.
No, I will not go into depth. I just touched upon it. Why will this power not devolve back to the panchayat?
But I'm on Tulya Bab, I'm on small things.
Small
See,
things.
these linesmen are there. in the Panchayat Ghar
No.
or at the side. Why can't they take care of the street lights? Why can't they take care of those minor changes? Why the department?
It should be overseen by the Panchayat.
Yeah, every
Because
Panchayat.
of wards,
No, I will
Panch
give you
members,
on the
Yeah,
infrastructure front, I'll give you 3 simple examples. Every Panchayat either has one very rundown, dilapidated market setup, which needs urgent attention, and why not involve the Panchayat and get them to run that market for the local people.
It's supposed to be run by
or you
Panchayat.
have the RDA and the government pokes its nose into even the smallest of small
I think
things.
probably RDA should be given to ZP.
Most of
But
these schemes
then
are
you have
made-
I'll just complete that,
Sure,
Samant
sure.
Bab. Second is a sports ground. Every Panchayat should be having a sports ground. How they manage, how they run it, and how they earn revenues out of it for the benefit of the local
That
people.
is, I don't know.
No,
Most of these
I'm
panchayats,
giving you an
SEC
example
doesn't belong to the ground.
of a market, of a small sports ground, and maybe the primary school of the village which are facing closure. The government sitting, okay, Goa is small, I understand, but the government sitting in a state capital says that primary schools with one teacher will be closed. Why are they going closed? Is there a report on that? Is there a performance-based report on that? Why are these primary schools
Okay.
getting closed?
Sandhya, tell us, why are these panchayats
I
being
I
closed?
gave you
no, why only-
principles.
see, why only
Avinash
schools?
Bab, I hope you understand
Yeah,
what I'm trying to
No, I
say.
fully understand, but I have one point here which is quite a major.
Okay, fine.
Let me tell you, I will, excuse me, Doctor.
No, not at all.
Yeah, here, as I was saying earlier, the political parties, which are supposed to be a political institution, has lost its glitter and deter. There is no deterrence. There is no glitter also, except for the ruling dispensation. Rest of the political parties, there are some strong individuals who have taken charge of the political party. Those individuals have become bigger than the political party, and they dictate terms to the political party, and that is precisely echoed down to the grassroots like Panchayat. So there are new bosses which has come. There is no ideology.
One second,
There is no
one
policy.
second, let me interrupt. Now this
Yeah.
is the it's just gone. I think this is the supposed to be the RG's
Stronghold.
First
a little earlier.
First Panchayat.
That's the MLA.
with the beard. Yeah, this Viresh is supposed. This is supposed to be the Sarpanch who the RG has said of Azosi Mandur, the man with the beard.
We had old time Sarpanch Vinod Kamath from the
Vinod
Rajashar.
Kamath is-
Yeah.
No,
we had he-
Vinod Kamath old means
Yeah.
he's till the last Panchayat he was a member.
Yeah.
No, he's Nandesh
He-
Maekar.
He's not from Azosi.
Nandesh
he's from
Maekar.
Neora.
Neora.
This is Nandesh Maekar, I think, no? The man with the beard. Not he. The red, or you're talking about the person with the beard?
The person with the beard is Prashant, the one who came to them later.
He
He's
recently
Nandesh,
joined.
no? He's Nandesh Maekar.
But I don't think Neora results are out. I don't think.
Not
so.
Neora,
Neora is
no,
not out.
Azosi
This is
Mandur.
This is ROC.
They had
Azosi
initially
Mandur.
got 3
Azosi.
and the 4th one joined them
Yeah.
in some time.
Okay, anyway.
Let's, if we can go to your Bardesh correspondence. if
Yeah,
there
we are
is-
getting. But yeah, finish, Avinash Baba. I interrupted you, sorry.
No, I was just trying to have it because in a political setup, the political parties as on today has lost its glitter and deter. I tell you, except for the ruling dispensation, and more so, I would have a point to score to give to BJP. See, there is one good thing which has been done by the election commission. That earlier used to give a slip. That slip, even the name of the voter and everything in details. That has been taken care by the election commission. They do it at the level of Mamlida. Their BLOs are appointed. Booth level officers have been there. Now, that booth level committee which is there, we are supposed to give it to the election commission or before the election, all the details.
Who the party?
Party. And even including the officer to coordinate with the election commission, all the details, nitty-gritty of the happenings, ground level happenings. So the party is in touch with the election commission, government machinery as well. If there are anything, discrepancies or any deficiencies which have occurred, that can be reported to the officer and get it corrected. Now, vis-a-vis this, it is only the BJP who has completed the entire task all over Goa, having a booth level committee of minimum 5 members. Every booth they have 5 members, including Congress, including the NCP, RGA just devolving. But now even the Goa Forward Party, they have some certain level, but they are limited to certain constituencies. It is not all Goa scenario. So this is to the advantage of a party who really gets themselves connected with the people, elections or no elections. So, and even the schemes of the government, so there are a variety of the schemes which has been just named. So all the benefits of the scheme goes to those people They give the name at the grassroots level. These are the ladies, these are the girls, these are the students. All the schemes go to the people, and we are so lazy. We are not even bothered about it, and that reflects into these
No,
discrepancies.
Abhinav, it is not only lazy, you see. You please understand one thing, that when any party is ruling, the electorate, the workers who don't all have labels, they all gravitate towards the ruling.
Yes, I will
And-
discuss this
and-
later.
and
Because
nobody-
I can give you an
and-
example
yeah.
of the MP elections in South Goa when Congress was in power. I'll give you an example.
No,
of
no,
that.
I'll come to that.
No, winning. Congress was in power at that time. You
No,
did not
no.
have booths in half of the constituency.
Edward
or something.
Falero was the
Anyway,
candidate,
is that-
and,
We'll
Chacha
talk about
Rao
it. I'll
was
bring it up. I'll give you the list if
Yeah,
you
yeah,
want.
yeah.
And
More
you have to
important-
hire out Surinder Odekar and Vijay Sardesai's people.
See,
Sorry,
you are
Thiru.
basically
I'm
asking a
aware of this.
question.
Yeah, tell me.
You're basically asking a question about this government
I'll
scheme,
come to that.
especially.
Yeah, I will give you names
I'll
if you
come to
want.
that.
Which constituencies?
No,
You
no.
are basically asking about government schemes, especially schools, why they are being merged, why they are not being effective. The reason why it is being effective is, see, these are formalized, and policy decisions are taken at government level, and government totally relies upon bureaucracy, and it is bureaucracy which totally kills this scheme. Instead of giving it to the bureaucracy, if it can be given directly to the panchayat, I am very sure
At
at
least
least
schools at Panchayat level.
everything. Why only schools? So many things. Public distribution. If it could be given at panchayat level,
Oh,
because
God,
they know so many things. Schemes, social security schemes, if they could be implemented to panchayat, because that is their job. Ultimately, it is meant for the poor people in this citizens of the country which is located in this area. Now who knows them personally, whether what has got problem, whether a person particular is deserving or not. It is this panchayat. Now panchayat are the people.
I have-
Secondly, these are elected people.
But
Now,
anyway-
are you not going to trust your elected people?
No, that's
Are you
not-
going to trust your bureaucracy?
No, no, problem
No,
with
this
that.
is the see this
The MLA of
schemes,
the
no,
place.
these schemes. Advocate Siddharth Saman has to have a bank account. Viraj Naik has to have a bank account. Advocate Avinash Mosley has to have a bank account. Architect Tulio D'Souza has to have a
Correct.
bank account. Schemes go directly to your bank account, not to through any.
Correct, but then they don't go to the right person. See, you see, they are
one
not-
rupee will go to them, 9 rupees will
See,
go somewhere else.
question
These
is-
are not my word. These are Rajiv.
See,
Gandhi's
it
words.
is. See, it has. See, I am not upon. I am not upon.
I am
ca-
very strongly on
cash
that. There's no way
transfer.
the money is going to reach.
I am
you.
not about cash transfer. I am about selecting people. See, these things are done by the bureaucracy.
Lists.
So yes, so that has to go from the panchayat,
That
not
agree.
from the bureaucracy.
That agree.
See, you see the mode of connecting to you, whether you should be to a transfer or a check should be issued is a different matter. But then selection process is
Yes.
done by the bureaucracy.
Totally.
Now
Point
that should be stopped.
Point
It should be given to the panchayat.
Yeah.
Panchayat will be able to give you genuine people.
Absolutely. Point noted. Yeah,
No, no, I think
we
precisely
have
what I
to
was saying.
let Viraj just update us. on
We have some results coming in from down south Salsette. So in Benaulim, we have Elzina Fernandez winning from ward number 1, Felicia Noronov, ward number 2, Genciana Barreto Culaso, ward number 3, Glida Rodriguez Fernandez, ward number 4. In ward number 5, we have David Fernandez, ward number 6, Vencila Rodriguez, ward number 7, Diala Fernandez, ward number 8 is not yet out, ward number 9 is Resika Fernandez, ward number 10 is Tukaram Kesarkar, ward number 11 is Rini Mascarenas. Then we also have results coming in from Bethel Patim. So ward number 1 is Maria Filomena Rato. Ward number 2 is Viola Pacheco, that is wife of Miki Pacheco. Ward 3 is Minu Fernandez. Ward 4 is Ilma Dias. Ward 5 is Pedro Fernandez. Ward 6 is Nazima Rebello. And Ward 7 is Jose Pereira. Raya. So we also have results from Raya Panchayat. Ward 1 is Godfrey D'Souza. Ward 2 is Mingelina D'Souza. Ward 3 is Judas Montserrat Quadros. Ward 4 is Mario D'Souza. Ward 5 Trifonio Cardozo. Ward 6 is Manuel Rodriguez. Ward 7 Queenie Dacunia Di Costa, Ward 8 Peter Quadros, Ward 9 Cynthia Fernandez, Ward 10 is Antonio Fernandez, and Ward 11 is Jacinta Dias.
It would be interesting to, I don't know if we can get these affiliations, but it would be interesting in these, in
another news,
okay, sir.
Govind Gowde, minister in the Goa government, has claimed that he has taken control of Vailing Priol Panchayat. He is claiming that 9 out of 11 have won from his panel or supported by him.
Okay. Yeah, it would be interesting to know what are the
four times Sarpanch and 6-time Punch Martha Saldana has suffered a major defeat in Kansaule.
That's big news.
It's big news.
That's big news. Yes. Affiliations, I was saying, Viraj, it would be interesting to actually find out the actual affiliations of all these
Raya,
places.
especially Raya.
Yeah, all these places, because ultimately these are the people who are going to be very crucial in the assembly elections. I don't know so much about Lok Sabha. I don't know.
No, I think with some time, as the winners come out, maybe we'll get to see the affiliations with those.
So those affiliations I told you, they go towards the sitting MLA of that place.
No.
And
I'm not talking about those affiliations. Actual affiliations.
Actual affiliations are meaningless, you see, because what happens, the expedient manner in which they behave is to be closer to the elected representative of that particular constituency.
That would be obvious choice, because ultimately you go for development. You have to stand by your
No,
MLA.
he will tell you, even if he was of A party and he has gone towards the MLA of B party, he will say, my voters have requested me to be with the MLA. If your works are going to get done, what are you going to do by just being at loggerheads with the MLA? So these are some type of a practical realities of the day which one has to encounter. I'm not saying that's the correct way of going about. But in smaller, you talked about wards of 500 and 600. Yeah. I know in my village in Guinea, one ward has got 272 voters.
Only 272?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
See, to add to what he was saying, there was a time when you could be in opposition. That is, a minister or a local MLA could be of a different political ideology, and you could be of a different political ideology and yet coexist. Now, I'll tell you example. Most of the time in 80s there would be a Congress government here, and I come from Pedne, and Pedne seats would always be won by MGP during that time, and all these panchayats were totally aligned with MGP, yet they could function well during those times. Now those times have passed. Now today it is.
I think, Dr. I will just intervene on a nice point which you brought about, which has some link to what Avinash Bab and Glenn were talking sometime back about the workers. See, in a BJP setup, they want the entire machinery from top to down to be part of their working system. And all those who are not part of them, they are not part of a system, they are against them. So that is the type of fear by which the people live today. Whereas I know in our own Saligaon constituency, which was represented by Dr. Wilfred D'Souza for many terms, we had, if not panchayats, we had many punch members who were of the opposition. MGP or BJP later on, and they used to come and get their, if they had any work through the MLA, they used to get their work done without betting an eyelid. And there was no pressure on whatsoever on them that why are you in the opposition, you have to join our party and you have to join our ruling group to get your work done.
The president said is more vindictive.
Live and let live. You have to allow. You have to allow, and I think Advocate Samant has brought a very nice point that I can well understand that you have a situation like Pedne, where we know that Pedne for long has always had MGP representatives until our late Jiten Bab Deshprabhu broke the ice and represented that Congress, that constituency on a Congress.
Till late 90s, early 2000 also we were.
But I know that no MLAs were under pressure, no local bodies, no municipalities were under pressure. You see today, if a government changes, within 2 weeks you will have all the municipal presidents or municipal chairpersons and all
let
panchayats
me
following
interrupt you.
the change in the governance.
Talking about MGP, now we are going to our reporter from Ponda since Krishna. Yeah, Krishna, तुमची
Please.
साइडीन कितें चल्ला? धवळीकराचे सगळे मुनीस येयल्या, गोविंदाचे मुनीस येयल्या, कितें? म्यूट. ऑडियो. Krishna, we can't hear you. No. Yeah. Sorry about that. Tulyaba, please continue till we get Krishna back. This.
So we were talking about allowing the local self-government bodies like the municipalities and panchayats to truly function with the autonomy that they derive from the law, from the statute. But that is exactly what the government should allow them to do. Not only by decentralizing the administrative powers and devolution of some of the financial powers, but also in principle, in letter and spirit, allowing to function. We were just talking about how we have seen in the past, if the government of the day changes for whatever reasons, you have all the municipalities and all the panchayats or immediately following the pattern of the government. That clearly shows that there is a lack of confidence and a lack of trust to function as a viable, responsible opposition in the state or in the country. And probably this example should be set at the highest level in the central government to allow the opposition. Opposition has a very meaningful assigned role in our constitution. And I will tell you, I also, since I worked in Saligaon constituency with Dr.
You
Willi,
stood for,
I
assembly
stood for
election.
assembly election as an independent only once.
Okay.
Only once in
Not
2012.
Congress, no?
No, not in Congress.
Congress at that time?
Congress gave that seat to MCP on to Mr. Suresh Parulekar.
Okay, on the.
Yeah. Of course, I was the runner-up. I was the number 2, and all the others were far behind.
Michael was. Who
Not
was one?
Michael.
Jayesh.
No, that election was won by Dilip Parulekar.
Dilip Parulekar won.
Yeah. Dilip Parulekar won the election, and the whole opposition split the votes.
It was a BJP wave at that time. Otherwise,
Yeah.
the results might have been different.
Totally, yeah. Because you see, there was a ground. Anyway, that's a long time ago, and that maybe
It was announced quite some time back, no?
10 years ago.
2012.
10 years ago. So notwithstanding that, what happens is when you, the people,
So, yeah.
when
Can we get Krishna back? Sorry.
Hello.
Krishna sir.
Glenn, can you hear?
Yes.
Glenn,
Oh, sir.
Hello.
Sir.
can you hear?
Yes. Tell me.
ग्लॅन सध्या माझ्याकडे आता 4 पंचायतीचो रिजल्ट आसा प्रेझेंटली. पयले म्हणल्यार कुट्टी खांडेपार आहा. कुट्टी खांडेपार जे आसा हे जे 2 पॅनल आसले, एक रवी नायकाचे आसले आनी दुसरे आसले ते केदार भाटेकर. पण हातूंक जे निवडून जे आयिल्ले आसात, आमी जेन्ना उलयले तेन्ना म्हणटा सगळे म्हणटा की आमी रवीचेच मनीस अशें म्हणटा प्रेझेंटली. जे निवडून जे येयल्ले आसा ते अशे आसात अभिजीत गावडे, वार्ड नंबर 1, वार्ड नंबर 2 मनीष गावडे, वार्ड नंबर 3 विल्मा पेरेरा, वार्ड नंबर 4 हरीश नायक, वार्ड नंबर 5 निलेश नायक, वार्ड नंबर 6 प्रवीण तळशीदार, वार्ड नंबर 7 बाबू चारी, वार्ड नंबर 7 नवीन तळशीदार, वार्ड नंबर 9 सजीद सय्यद, वार्ड नंबर 10 संजना नायक आणि वार्ड नंबर 11 भिकू केरकर. जो भिकू केरकर जो आसा तो लास्ट टायम सरपंच आसलो आणि तो म्हणटा कितें आपल्याच पॅनल जातले अशें तो म्हणटा. आमी ताका उलयल्ले, तो म्हणटा आपल्याच पॅनल जातले अशें तो सांगता. दुसरी जी पंचायत आहा ती आसा ती वेलिंग किरोळा.
वेलिंग पिरोड जे निवडून आयल्ले आसा ते सगळे गोविंदाचेच आसा, गोविंदाचे पॅनल आसा.
Yeah, that's what you're saying,
गोविंदा-
Viraj.
गोविंदाचे पॅनल आसा आणि गोविंद मेजॉरिटी निवडून आयिल्लो आसा एक वेलिंग पंचायतीक. ताका मेजॉरिटी चड मेळिल्ली आसा. तातूंतले जे जे निवडून जे आयिल्ले आसा ते हर्षाक गावडे, दुसरो रंगनाथ कुंकळेकर, आदिती गावडे, सुभाष गावडे, रणजित पोगळसाय, वैभवी मार्दोळकर, अशोक जलमी, रुपेश नायक, दिनेश नायक, दिशा विश्वास सतरकर आणि दिग्विजित दिलीप सतरकर. हे जे हातूंत अशें दिसता की हातूंत चडशे एसटीचे कॅन्डिडेट निवडून आयिल्ले आसात ज्या पिरोळा. आणि तिसरो जो आसा तो आमचे कडेन आसा बेतोडा आसा. बेतोडा ही पॅनल आसा ते सुभाषाचे पॅनल अशें ते म्हणटात सद्या एट प्रेझेंटली. ते निवडून जे आयिल्ले आसा दिनेश गांवकर, दुर्गाप्रसाद वैद्य, प्रशांत गांवकर, चित्रा सालेलकर, उमेश गांवकर, वैशाली सालेलकर, अक्षय गांवकर, चंद्रकांत सामंत, मधु खांडेपरकार, गीता गावडे, वैद्य गांवकर. हातूंत जे लास्ट टायम जे दोग जण सरपंच आसले तेय निवडून आयिल्ले आसात. एक चंद्रकांत सावंत आणि मधु खांडेपरकार हे पयलीं सरपंच आसले तेय हय. आणि बांदोडा पंचायतीचे जे पॅनल पॅनल मेजॉरिटी सगळे सुदिनाचेच आसा. तातूंतल्यान सुकानंद गावडे एक नंबराक, वामन नायक, मनीषा कारापूरकर, अजय नायक, राजू बांदोडकर, चित्रा नायक, व्यंकटेश गावडे, रामचंद्र नायक, सोनिया नायक, रेश्मा. हातूंत जे सरपंच लास्ट टायम जे सरपंच आसले तो तातूंत रामचंद्राचें नांव आसा आणि अनेक एकल्याचें नांव जेट्टी आसले ताचें नांव आसा. सद्या प्रेझेंटली म्हाका म्हजे कडेन चार जाणांनी निवडून आयिल्ल्या आणि मेजॉरिटी अशें आसा की सुदिना स्टेटमेंट केल्ले की सगळे पॅनल 7 पंचायती आहा त्यो आपले जातले अशें म्हणून ताणें डिक्लेअर केल्लें आसा.
ओके. या थँक्स. बट रवी नायकाची एक येयल्या म्हणटा मग तू, रवी नायकाची एक बॅक पॅनल
खांडेपार.
Yeah, thanks. We'll get back to you a little later. Now, Tulio, you were asking about Nerul, no? So Nerul, the results are just out. Ward number 1, Piedad Almeida. Ward number 2, Rajesh Kalangutkar. Ward number 3, John Mendes. Ward number 4, Vency Fernandez. Ward number 5, Shivanand Govekar. Ward number 6, Purnima Banulekar. Ward number 7, Sandesh Govekar. Ward number 8, Sudesh Govekar. Ward number 9, Dasarath Mandrekar. I don't know, was
Dasarath Mandrekar?
Was the Virendra also in Nerul?
Virendra is in
Rejmagush, no?
Yeah.
Okay.
The last one, can you check what it was?
Dasarath Mandrekar, ward number 9.
Okay.
Yeah, Viraj, you have some more.
Yeah, we have interesting news coming in. Political heavyweight spokesperson of BJP, Urfan Mullah, has lost. Urfan Mullah has lost
Naveli?
from Rumdamol Panchayat in Navelim constituency. So a shocker coming in.
That is interesting. I've sent you some more results are up. Just check if you anything. I think Betalpati,
Benavlim will be announced.
Benavli. You are familiar with the Nerul Panchayat?
They are the
Nagora
Piedad Almeida
is
was the sitting Sarpanch, that lady.
Who was that?
Piedad Almeida was
Okay.
the sitting Sarpanch.
Okay.
So she has won.
Okay.
And those not last two, last one, Dasarath Mandrekar, I don't know, but the Sudesh
Govekar.
and Sandesh Govekar, their mother was in the Panchayat for a long time.
Okay. So no surprises.
Not really, but I think the surprise there is that
Rajesh Kalangutkar.
Francisco de Costa, who has lost.
Francisco de Costa, there's no friend.
He has lost, appears to has lost, because that was the ward from where that Johnny Mendes has won.
Okay. And this Rajesh Kalangutkar is a taxi fellow?
No, but he has been the sitting punch at Fortavado there.
Okay.
So So
Other
Nagova,
Kalamas,
we have some results from Nagova Panchayat. Ward 1 is Florencio Fernandez. Ward 3 is Gabriel Fernandez. Ward 4 is Enzel Gudino. Ward 5 is Glivena Vaz. Ward 6 is Raki Naik. Ward 7 is Teresina Disa Faria. We also have results from Aldona. Ward 1 is Salvador Fernandez. Ward 2 Ashwin D'Souza. Ward 3 Abhitnya Satardekar. Ward 4 is Pranesh Naik. Ward 5 is Harish Maekar. Ward 6 is Natalina Kulaso. Ward 7 Subhash Raut. Ward 8 Yashwant Parwar. Ward 9 Babita Falkar. Ward 10 Rohan Pinto. Ward 11 Dorothy Fernandez.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, Ashwin, who won,
Ashwin, sir.
is the our Aldana block president
Okay.
of the Congress.
So this time the Congress has done pretty well.
In Aldana,
Aldana.
yeah, that's what we have a MLA over there, and generally people have not
despite
been.
all the rumors regarding your MLA.
No, those, as you rightly said, rumors have to be kept as rumors. But
I
the
hope
reality
they
of
remain as
the
rumors.
reality of
I hope they remain as rumors. Okay, anyway,
The reality
our
of the day.
reporter from Bangladesh is on the line. Let's see
Okay,
if we can get him
that's-
on the line. Yeah, Samir, Sam.
Yeah, so the Bangladesh was divided in three parts. So the three arrows are handling the all election process, like from holding the elections to counting these ballots. एक म्हणता तो हांगासर म्हणता तो एक आरो 3 म्हणता तो हांगासर प्रोसेस सामको स्लो आहा मातसो सत्ता फुडें डिले जालो तेका लागून हे डिलेक लागून खुबशे कॅन्डिडेट म्हणटा ते गरजेक दिसून येयला हांगासर आनी दे आर इगरली वेटिंग फॉर द रिजल्ट. सो चडशे भारतांतले रिजल्ट आवट जाल्यात, थोडे इन प्रोग्रेस आसात, थोड्यांचे आतां ती इलेक्ट जातकूच सर्टिफिकेट मेळटा ते आतां डिस्ट्रिब्युशन चालू आहा. तेका लागून मातसो तो फुफुसाव जाला. आतां
Yeah, which constituencies? Yeah, Samir, which panchayats are still now? Which panchayats are still in process?
Nerul, Kalangut.
Nerul we got, yeah.
Kalangut.
Nerul, Kalangut, and like
Parra.
Nerul has done.
Nerul is done. Nerul we got.
Magush is, I think, is in process. Kalangut and Pilan Marna, Saligaon, and Asagaon is in process.
And what about Parra?
Parra is also in process. Yeah, Parra is also process.
Okay. Okay. Tell me what you were saying about Panchayat France and the other this. Who are the people? Who are the backing of these panels of these candidates in these various?
The panel de France had a panel called Pergorin Development Fund, which was led by Rohan Conte.
Led.
So the panel is won by 9 seats from, and in Akora, the Michael been flipped where he had won 6 seats out of 7.
Okay.
And now the remaining are Kandolin, Parra, Kalangut had to be results had to be open.
Aldona, whose Kalus's people have come?
Aldona, Kalus.
Oh, Glenn's.
They are saying they are all individuals, but they are saying they have the MLS given the backing to the winnable candidate. They have not voted any panel at all.
Okay.
So everyone candidate is saying I am winning, so the MLS is given backing to him. Similar thing in Moira.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
So in Aldona, especially, if you note that you will see many new faces this time. All the old faces have gone. Only 2 old faces are there, including the former Sarpanch Pramesh Naik.
Okay.
Lot of new faces.
Controversy of halting a minor.
Encouraging you.
Ah, yes. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's important, you know.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
very-
Thanks, Samir. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now we've had an interesting discussion, but I think we'll go in for a small break now. We are going to continue this coverage, live coverage. Thank you, and keep watching.